I'm Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Thought I'd break out the old intro for Monday. Why? Because you know we're going to piss people off. And the old intro evidently ticks people off. It gets under some people's skin, but you know what? That's what we're going to do today. Because we're going to talk honesty. We're going to talk truth. We're going to talk about the New York Giants and the 25-3 win against the Carolina Panthers. I have never seen a fan base so rapidly and so vehemently change directions on a team whatsoever. This is amazing to me. The Giants were left for dead at 1-5. They beat a bad Carolina team who's given up on average 30 points the last 3 games before the Giants. They beat the likes of Sam Darnold and PJ Walker. And all of a sudden you see on Twitter, we're going to the playoffs. We're making the wild card. I haven't seen we're going to take the division yet. And it's just, am I the only one that actually watches the games? Am I the only one that actually sits there and views what's going on in the field? The score at halftime was 3-5. The Giants, on average, I believe, for their starting position was like their own 45. And they couldn't score against what has been a horrid Carolina defense the last 3+ weeks. Daniel Jones, I mean, there was only one scoring drive in the third quarter for the Giants, which was and it's something that Daniel Jones does. He puts together one great drive a game, which at that point in time made the score 12-3. And then they get 2 field goals and a garbage touchdown on the end because they went for it like on 4th and 16 on deep in their own territory. Carolina did. And then the Giants, of course, got the touchdown. If you go back and actually look at what the Giants have beaten, who have they beaten? They beat a Saints team with Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston, and they beat a Carolina team with Sam Darnold and PJ Walker. Yes, Temple's very own PJ Walker and the venerable XFL player. This is a game we should win. I just don't get how people are like, well, we blew them out. Do you understand the score was 12-3 going into the 4th? Did you watch the game? And your venerable franchise quarterback, yeah, it was a great catch. Wonderful catch. Daniel Jones is the best wide receiver quarterback I've ever seen. But can we look at what he did statistically for the game instead of sitting there and going, well, he just carried this team on his back? 23 of 33 for 203 yards, averaging 6.2 yards, 1 touchdown. And then he rushed the ball 8 times for 28 yards. If you go back and you break down Daniel Jones statistically for the entire season, he is projected to throw for 3,900 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions. That's a franchise quarterback. Now, if you want to kid yourself about that, that's fine. But I've said it a million times, don't piss down my leg and tell me it's raining. Because there are so many flaws in Daniel Jones's game that the neophytes just won't see them because they just want him to be the guy. I've never seen in the NFL in the 2000s or 2020s, let's say, it's a passing league. People are putting up huge numbers, and Daniel Jones throws for 303 yards on 33 passing attempts for under the league average per attempt, and Giant fans make him out to be Eli Manning, Phil Simms, Fran Tarkenton, Charlie Conley, Y.A. Tittle, all rolled into one. Wow. I mean, wow. I said this during the stream. Giants are going to win this game because they should have. They should, no matter what, I said they should beat this team because this team Carolina was in a free fall. They beat up on a bad opponent and they beat up on bad opponents. And then they kind of ran into a meat grinder. You lose your main offensive weapon and you rely on Sam Darnold. Yeah, bad things are going to happen. And then you bench Darnold for PJ Walker. It's not like we went out there and beat Joe Montana, Dan Marino. I just don't get, I know it's fine. And it's fine to be in this love affair with the Giants. It's fine. You know what? You can overlook everything that this team does and just want to look at focusing on a 25-3 win when you were up 12-3 at the end of 3. and you got a garbage touchdown and 2 more field goals. The Giants still aren't putting the ball in the end zone. Daniel Jones is still faltering once he gets inside the 20. And of course, we're going to blame Jason Garrett. Which is fine. But you're going to run into a meat grinder now. Mahomes looks like he's going to play, and I have a feeling this is going to be a get-right game at home for the Chiefs. The Raiders are a good team, and then you run into the Buccaneers. So you could potentially be 2-8 going into the Eagle game. And the Eagle game is no longer a cakewalk because the Eagles have been playing well. Winning? No. Playing well? Yes. It's no longer going to be a cakewalk. And then you may get a win with the Dolphins, but then you run into the Chargers and the Cowboys. So you may have 3 wins going into the last 2 games of the season. If you want to celebrate a garbage win, that's fine. That's good. But you need to actually literally focus on what you see on the field. And social media is which in some ways is the downfall of the intelligence of a sports fan. Because it's a collective. It's like I don't watch Star Trek, but there's they were the Borg, where they all had just one brain, and that was the collective. And that's what Giant fans are on social media. It's a collective. And anyone with a disparaging thought or anyone that speaks unhighly of the Giants is automatically a hater. I don't know. Maybe some fans just actually just watch the game and see what's on the field. That was a bad game to watch. It was a horrid game to watch. That was bad. Bad. The stands weren't even full. That's how many people have, and I've never seen that in all the years of watching the Giants football. I remember in the 70s when they were such a bad team, the Giants would still sell out. There would still be 78,000 people in the Meadowlands. Now it's like, okay, we're not even going to go, but then we're going to get on Twitter and everything else. We're the greatest team ever. Daniel Jones threw this team on his back and carried them. Well, honestly, the defense did. Because the defense put them in a position to score multiple times, and Daniel Jones didn't score. But let's not be honest. Let's just fall for the hype and just go for it. Yeah, we beat the Panthers. Oh, we rock. Oh, it's the stupidity that gets me. I think that's my problem. Big shout out to the defense, though. Defense played well. Logan Ryan got burned a couple times, which was interesting. I think he's kind of going down on the downward spiral. Leonard Williams, of course, had his big sock and a half, and he did his Leonard Williams blowing kisses. Leonard Williams is an asshole. I've said that before. You can't all of a sudden be a baby and then get a sack and have be like, I'm so great. Everyone loves me. Nah, whatever. Azeez Ojulari, he's turning the corner, man. He actually is getting more snaps. He's playing more, which is what he needs to do. He needs to be on the field more. So he got another 2.5 sacks. He's got a total of 4.5 sacks or 5.5 sacks for the regular season. He's got a forced fumble in there. 21 total tackles. He's starting to step up a little bit. If you project it over the full season, you should have about 12.5 sacks. It doesn't usually work that way, but you know what? That's always a good thing. It's a good thing to look at. We had a Dexter Lawrence sighting with his big sweep sack. I always love it. I always love it when guys just sweep and trip a guy and then get a sack and they're like, yeah, and then he does the big sexy dance. Really, Leonard? Really, Dexter? Really? You missed Alvin Tomlinson, don't you? Just admit it freely. Just admit it. Secondary played well against I would say a lesser opponent, which is what they should do. We had an Adoree Jackson sighting on a pass defense, which is nice to see. He wasn't playing 10 yards off the ball as much. Darnay Holmes, we got to limit the penalties, man. We've ineligible men downfield. We have some still bad penalties. We have bad, undisciplined penalties, and I don't still understand at 7 games into the season why we're still having these penalties. Why we're still having these issues. I mean, I don't get it. We were penalized 8 times for 60 yards. I mean, I just don't get it. It's an interesting dichotomy that we're still getting these penalties. And they're just weird penalties, and they're weird. They're in my mind, they are penalties that's more of a lack of concentration penalties. But the defense came to play. The defense stepped up against a bad opponent and beat up on a bad opponent, which is what you're supposed to do. The venerable David Sills had 1 target and 1 drop. I guess we're going to have to wait another week for Victor Cruz 3.0 to make his statement game. Oh my God, Quincy's looking good, man. The defense, the rookie out of Miami, he's looking good for a 6th round pick. He's looking very spry on that defense. It's nice to see him get involved in some plays. McKinney looks like he's a hell of a lot more better option in the linebacker position than our old buddy Tay Crowder. And that's not a slight against Tay Crowder. It's just he does seem to play. He seems to be better suited to play that. He actually put on a tackling clinic a couple times. If you watched him, he actually looked down into the field, held his position, saw the ball carrier, attacked the line, squared his shoulders, leaned in, drove with his legs, and made a fantastic tackle. I like to see him get some more playing time. I'm not really sure what happened between the trade from the Texans to Miami, why Miami got rid of him. But you know what? It's neither here nor there. I mean, he's a giant, and he actually looked good. So you know what? He could be a good option to fill in for Blake Martinez. So you got to give them you got to give hats off to him as well. Like I said, it was a win. Good win? No. Bad game to watch? Yes. Giants are going to go anywhere from here? No. We're going to go into a meat grinder. It's fine. But that's what it is, and I think people need to be honest about it. Daniel Jones, if you really think he's a franchise quarterback, barely throwing for 3,900 yards, maybe 11 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. I think there's in a passing league. I think there's I don't know what the definition of that is. I kind of just wanted to prove my point for a second. And this is without yesterday. I think this is without yesterday's games. Is this without yesterday's games? Yes, this is without yesterday's games. No, I think this was with yesterday. Yeah, this is with yesterday's games. Top passing in the league is Tom Brady at 2,275 yards and Derek Carr at 2,269. Stafford at 2,172. Mahomes at 2,093. Kyler Murray at 2,000. Burrows at 1,950. Lamar Jackson at 1,943. Dak Prescott at 1,813. Mac Jones at 1,779. Goff at 1,773. Jared Goff has more passing yards than Daniel Jones. You also then have the Duck coming in at 1,771. You got Kirk Cousins coming at 1,769. Then you have Ryan Tannehill coming at 1,773. And then you have Daniel Jones at 1,727. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. So are we seeing anything yet? Are we seeing a pattern yet? Touchdown leaders. You have Brady at 21, Stafford at 19, Mahomes at 18, even though he's having a bad year. Murray at 17, Burrows at 17, Dak at 14, Aaron Rodgers at 15, Josh Allen at 15, the Duck at 14, Kirk Cousins at 13, Winston at 12, Ryan at 12, Carr at 12, Bridgewater at 12, Carson Wentz at 11, Russell Wilson at 10, and he didn't even play. Lamar Jackson at 10, Jalen Hurts at 10, the Heineken at 10, and then comes Mac Jones at 9, Goff at 8. Tannehill at 7, Trubisky at 7, Big Ben at 7. Trevor Lawrence, who was on a worse team than the Giants, has more touchdowns than Daniel Jones at 7. Are we seeing a problem here yet? Are we seeing a problem here? Should we go into first downs? Tom Brady, 100 first downs. Tom Brady, 125. Mahomes, 115. Stafford, 105. Dak, 95. You got Carr at 95, Kyler Murray at 91, Goff 91, Rodgers at 90, 89 for Lamar Jackson, 87 for both the Duck and Josh Allen, 86 for Tannehill, 86 for Bridgewater, 84 for Ryan. Sam Darnold and Kirk Cousins are tied at 83, 82 for Mac Jones, and below that is Daniel Jones. Are we seeing anything yet? Percentages of first downs for the team. We don't even want to get into that because that'll just make you even cry even more. I'm not seeing where some people are seeing this franchise quarterback. Just by looking at some of these numbers, I'm not seeing it. Sorry. And we talk about Daniel Jones having the best deep ball in the NFL. Okay. 40 plus passes, completions. Bradford 8, Burrows 8. Wentz 7, Baker 6, Carr 4. You got Rodgers and Big Ben and Mahomes and Jackson and Allen at 5. Winston at 4. Russell Wilson at 4. You got Kyler Murray at 4. You got Justin Herbert at 4. You got Zach Wilson at 4. 3. You got Tannehill at 3. You got Dak at 3. You got Trevor Lawrence at 3. Daniel Jones has 3. Are we not seeing an issue yet? Are we not seeing an issue yet? And then people are like, well, Daniel Jones doesn't have a line. He's getting sacked all the time. Okay. Most sacks in the NFL. Justin Fields, 22. Tannehill, 21. Lamar Jackson, 21. Darnold, 21. 19 for Zach Wilson. 18 for Bridgewater and Mayfield. 17 for both Goff, Carr, and Burrow. 16 for Rodgers. 16 for Murray. 15 for Wentz. 15 for Mills, 14 for both Mahomes, Jones. Oh, and the other Jones. He's lower on the list, man. He's at the bottom of the list. Okay, so you know what? Because everyone likes statistics for things, and I try to give out statistics, but evidently my statistics are just things that people don't want to hear. We'll talk about more Daniel Jones in the past, but you know what? It's a win. It is what it is. It's a garbage win. It's a toilet bowl. I said it before. When we get blown out the next 3 weeks, don't come crying to me. And people are going to be like, you're just so negative. Well, I don't give a shit what people think. I speak the truth. You don't like the truth, there's plenty of other lollipop channels you can go watch that'll tell you all the wonderful things that you want to hear. So life, liberty, and the pursuit of truth. That's what Online Big Blue is. And again, this is Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could like, you can subscribe, ring that bell, you know what it means. That'd be awesome.